She had driven past the storage unit 43 times before she finally turned in. Elena Voss counted things now. Days since the funeral, missed calls she let go to voicemail, the number of times she almost pulled into this gravel lot off Route 9 and then didn't. Today, she did. Unit 114 smelled like dust and old rubber, and underneath the gray tarp sat the only thing her father left her that didn't have a dollar value attached. She put her hand on the canvas. She did not pull it back. Instead, she checked her phone, 3 new emails from the board, a missed call from her assistant, and she answered those instead, because answering those was easier than looking at a car her father used to call his second heartbeat. She came back the next Saturday, and the one after that, each time she stood in the doorway of the unit like a woman visiting a grave she wasn't ready to kneel at. She never told anyone at the office where she went on weekends. The CEO of a company worth 9 figures. Spending her Saturdays standing in a storage unit, afraid of a tarp. The girl showed up on the 4th Saturday, maybe 8 years old, hair in 2 uneven braids, holding a wrench bigger than her forearm. "That's a 1967, the girl said, nodding at the shape under the canvas like she could see straight through it. "My dad can tell what year a car is just from the trunk shape. He says, you're the lady who never lifts the tarp." Elena's throat tightened. "He's been watching me." "Everybody watches you. You stand there for like 10 minutes, and then you leave." The girl said it without judgment, the way kids say true things. "My dad says some people aren't ready to fix what's broken. He says that's okay. He used to not be ready either." A man appeared behind her then, wiping grease off his hands with a rag that had clearly given up being useful. He introduced himself as Marcus, apologized for his daughter's honesty, and offered, simply, to take a look if Elena ever wanted one. She almost said no. She had said no to gentler offers than this, but something in the girl's voice, the way she'd said some people aren't ready, cracked something loose in her chest, and before she could talk herself out of it, Elena pulled the tarp back herself for the first time in 11 months. The Mustang underneath was exactly as her father left it. Cracked leather seats. A St. Christopher medallion still hanging from the mirror. Marcus ran his hand along the hood the way you'd touch a sleeping animal you didn't want to startle. "He kept it perfect," Marcus said quietly. "He died in March," Elena said. The words came out flat, like she'd practiced them and never used them. "Heart attack. I was in a board meeting when it happened. I didn't even get to say goodbye, and I haven't been able to look at this car since, because looking at it means he's actually gone." Marcus didn't offer comfort. He offered truth instead. "My wife left when Sophie was 2. Just left a note on the counter. I rebuilt my first engine that same month because it was the only thing in my life that made sense if I followed the steps in order. Cars don't leave. They just need someone patient enough to listen to what's wrong." Neither of them said anything for a while. The garage held the silence the way old places do, like it had heard confessions before. He came back the next Saturday, and the one after that, sleeves rolled up, Sophie trailing behind him with a juice box and a list of facts about engines she'd clearly been saving up all week. Elena learned the difference between a carburetor and a fuel injector. She learned that Sophie liked her grilled cheese cut diagonally, never straight. She learned that Marcus hummed off key when he was concentrating, and that it was, against every instinct she had, the most peaceful sound she'd heard in a year. One evening, the 3 of them ate pizza out of the box on the hood of a different car while the Mustang sat half disassembled beside them. Parts laid out on a blanket like surgical instruments. Sophie asked, mouth full, "Are you gonna marry my dad?" And Marcus nearly choked on his slice, and Elena laughed for the first time since March, a real laugh, surprised out of her. The engine turned over on a Thursday in October. Marcus had asked her to be there for it, said some things you shouldn't start alone. Elena sat in the driver's seat, her father's seat, hands on a wheel he used to hold, and turned the key. It coughed, caught, roared to life. She didn't cry until the 3rd try, when it finally settled into a steady, even rhythm, the sound her father used to whistle along to in the driveway every Sunday morning of her childhood. Marcus stood beside the open door, not touching her, just close enough that she knew he would catch her if she needed catching. Sophie climbed into the back seat, without asking, the way kids do when they've already decided you belong to them. Elena sat there a long moment, engine idling beneath her, like a heartbeat. Finally remembering how to beat, then she reached over, pulled the tarp from where it had been folded against the wall for months, and let it drop to the garage floor for good.